Hi, my name's Jeff. I live here on my boat, a Macwester 32. She's built, I think, in 1972. Built of fiberglass, and she's a lovely old girl. She sails beautifully, and I've created a really nice little lifestyle here, I think. I've lived on my boat now in this boat for 7 years. I bought her. She was pretty much in neglect in a boatyard, and I've been working on her on and off ever since, just getting her just how I like her. I've done a lot of work, and really I've put my heart and soul into her, but that's all fine because she pays me back every day. She's my little man cave, and I'm very happy. So I'll give you a look around at my lifestyle and see what you think. Right. Okay, well it's February, and so it's all cold and windy outside. So when it's not too good, I have my Aladdin lamp on, and that keeps the temperature nice. It's 19 degrees in here now. I've only just put it on. It normally gets about 21 degrees in here. It's not that cold outside, probably about, it's 11 degrees outside. So how this works, it's an Aladdin lamp I bought in the car boot sale for £3.50, and it's bolted through the table so it can't go anywhere, and also bolted onto this cast iron skillet, so she's really solid. And over here I've got a ventilator, and this is a stainless steel wok to radiate the heat downwards, and that's a brass Indian vase turned upside down with the bottom cut off, and it makes a good funnel out any fumes, so you don't get any fumes with this, and give a lovely light and a lovely heat. I don't use a mantle because I don't like them, I don't trust them, but I can turn this up like that. Normally it won't go up that high, but if you adjust the little piece in the middle up about 1/4 of an inch, you can get a good flame. Without that, the flame's really low without a mantle. What else have I done? Well, I've got I lined one of my biggest jobs, I've done this bit by bit, is I've lined the whole boat out with pine cladding, which is quite light, so it's not a lot holding it up, or it doesn't need a lot holding up. This lot here is just held up really with that. The original white PVC, which is pretty horrible to live with because in the winter it condensates and it's just like looking at white plastic. Now I look at white wood, and I haven't put many screws into the coach roof. It's nearly all held up right here, and I've done the sides here, the sides there, and it makes it really cosy. I haven't varnished any of it because if you varnish it, then you start coming up to condensation problems again, and that's not what you want. So every sort of 6 months or so I go over it with some bleach just to keep it all white and clean, and that's it really. I've done all of the boat now. It's taken a lot of time, but it's done all round now. This is my old Stingray depth cage, and this is my chart plotter. Really useful bit of kit. This is my chart table full of junk, but then I don't really need to get my charts out because I've got the chart plotter. So that's my instrument panel, switching everything on and off. Here I've got about, it's a good 1/4 of an inch thick perspex letting in a lot of light. So much better than washboards that don't let any light in. Here's my galley. I made this myself. I know you say it looks like you made it yourself, but I'm quite pleased with it. This is made of a lot stronger, actually, floorboards. You can buy them already varnished in B&Q, and yeah, it makes a good, strong. I mean, the previous owner had made it all full of laminated chipboard, and that was all going horrible. This is my cooker. I put this cooker in because I didn't have any fail-safe on the previous cooker. Now if the wind blows the gas out, it cuts the gas off automatic. And there's my sink, and then under here I've got food, and in this one I've got saucepans, and in here I use that as a keeping things cool. If I don't want to use my fridge because I haven't got much electric, and I use that as a fridge. Down here I've got I have got a fridge, and that's down there, taking up no space underneath there. That's my computer, my TV, and over here I've got my old 1920s air rifle and my clock and barometer. This is where I sleep, down here on all these sheepskins, so that's really nice and cosy. That's a little brass bits and bobs there, and then we could go forward, and this is the forecastle, and down here we've got old Frister Osman. That's probably Edwardian, and that's still working well. Can fix all my sails with that. That's my brand new ensign. The other one is completely worn out from had a really difficult winter. And as you can see, I've done all this in pine cladding as well, making it all nice and cosy. Previously I had done this in white plastic, and it nearly killed me off doing that, and I haven't had the heart to take it all down. It's a fiddly job actually. There's so many curves in here, I've decided not to actually do that. Up here I've got a hatch or a skylight. Now normally you'd like to be able to open that in the summer, but the price you pay is condensation, so I've double glazed it with Perspex, and it stops all the drips and makes a big double glazing type thing. Here we've got my main heater. It's something I invented. It's a gas ring here, runs off Calagas, and this is an old cast iron skillet a crucible to absorb all the heat, and then the heat comes up from here, hits these copper trays, just made up of bits and pieces I've got at car boot sales really, and radiates the heat down, and then there's a big cast iron piece on there to absorb more heat, release it slowly, and then any fumes and moisture go up through this piece of copper tube along there. And out there I didn't want to make another hole through the coach roof, so I put a Perspex window in there, and so it just goes straight out there. I often get tempted to go straight through the roof. I haven't done that. This is where I keep my bedding in there. I've got a little sink, hanging locker, another hanging locker on the other side, and hello, from here we've got a view through the boat. It looks like this. Okay, down here I've got a lovely old handmade 1960s rug that I really love, and then we go back into the galley. Well, on here, or in here, is my engine. Now I used to have an old Volvo engine from the 70s, the original one, and that started, although I loved it, it was noisy and pretty unreliable. So what I decided to do was to bite the bullet and have some marine engineers come along, have the boat lifted out of the water and put this brand new Beta engine in, which I love. Actually, two blokes could actually lift this engine, whereas the other one you needed a crane to move it around. It cost a lot of money, but there you go. It's given her a new lease of life. Everything was done, including the prop shaft, prop, exhaust system, all the filters, the engine bed. The list goes on. Just they did everything, and it now starts on the button. Had an extra big alternator put on, 70 to 100 amps. So if it's really dull with no wind, I can charge up on that. But I have got solar panels on the boat and a wind gen. Nice thing about this engine is everything's nice and easy to maintain. Here you've got your fuel filter, another fuel filter there. Here is your water pump, circulating the water, and that's nice and easy to get to. Just take off those and pop in your little I can't think of the name of it now. Nice and easy to do the an impeller, sorry. Here's your belt, so that's nice and easy to do, and that's your oil filter. And here you've actually got a pump to pump out the oil, so changing the oil is a doddle. So that's her, she's all nice. Let's think. Okay, I'll put the engine cover on so I can now step outside without breaking my neck. And this is my cockpit. Now, I had a boom tent made up just this autumn. The other one was falling apart, and this one I've got made of white PVC. It's very, very strong and 100% waterproof. And the other nice thing is there's lots of light comes through. That's nice. I always do my washing up outside because I don't want water splashing around inside the boat. Once you get things damp inside, you know, it's not so easy in the winter to get things dry. So I don't want a load of water splashing around, so I just tend to do it outside with some rubber gloves on. So here I've got the old gas bottle, so any leaking gas can just, because it's outside, just sort of mingle in with the air. I always use propane because that doesn't freeze in the winter. And here I've got my instrument panel for the engine, and I'll just going to hold it here while I take these covers off. Okay, I've got the covers off here now. This is the back end of the engine. Not a whole lot to see down there, but that's like a water trap there. That grey thing is one of the last things you want is water coming in through the exhaust outlet outside and washing into your engine, because just a cupful will ruin it. So that's a safety device for that. And I've also got a high-rise exhaust there. And then down here I've got my batteries. The grey one is a just for the engine, doesn't get used for anything else, and the black one is the house battery. I've also got other batteries that are on charge separately from separate little solar panels for doing various things. But that this grey thing here is the regulator for the wind generator, and that's showing that even though it's running the computer now and various other things, it's in regulated mode, so it's absolutely fully charged. And yeah, so that's great. On a breezy old day like today, I don't have any worries with electric. So that's those back. And okay, so we go back inside. Okay, well, as you can see, she's a pretty cosy boat, and I love living on a boat, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. You know, it would be kind of nice to be able to share it with someone, but they'd have to be the sort of person that would want to live like this, and someone I could really get on with. So as that someone I haven't found yet, I'm quite happy by myself. I never seem to get lonely, never get bored. You never ever get bored living on a boat. There's always something you've got to do, and something you've got to invent and sort out and fix and just make better. So you know, it's a guy's heaven, really. I love it. Okay, well, looks like the summer's not through with us yet, and we've got a gorgeous day. I think it's going to be a gorgeous week. So guess what? I'm off to the Isle of Wight again. It's absolutely lovely. Bournemouth over there. That's the Isle of Wight in the distance, the Needles. And it's just great. Northwesterly, absolutely perfect.